President Bola Tinubu has approved the nomination of Dr. Jamila Bio Ibrahim as the Minister of Youth, pending her confirmation by the Senate, in line with provisions of the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria as amended. According to a release issued yesterday by media advisor to the President, Ayodele Olawande, President Tinubu approved the nomination of Mr. Ayodele Olawande as the Minister of State for Youth, pending his confirmation by the Senate.
The nominees were charged to ensure that they consistently reflect the dynamism, innovative zeal, and unyielding productivity that are synonymous with the young people of Nigeria as they discharge their duties. Ibrahim is a young medical doctor and most recently served as the president of the Progressive Younger Women's Forum, PYWF. Of course, she's an indigenous of Kwara State. She's a 37-year-old medical doctor and, of course, served as a senior special assistant to the Kwara State Governor on Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs. And of course, it has been, similarly celebrated, across the country as an improvement in the quality of persons being, appointed as ministers. First of all, the 37-year-old, and of course also a woman, increasing by one the number of women being appointed in the Tinubu administration and cabinet.
All right, and joining us this morning to explore this conversation even further is Adebowale Jeff Johnson, who is a seasoned political analyst. Good morning, and thank you very much for joining us.
Good morning, and thank you for having me.
All right, I would like to know what your thoughts are on the new appointments that have been made. Of course, we know that the former appointment was widely criticized because of factors including his age, and people wondered why someone who's in the 60s should be appointed as Minister of Youth, and now we have a young woman who's 37 years old. Beyond the age, how do you feel about the appointments so far?
Okay, well, I think what is most important for me is the fact that this is a lady who has done well for herself. And again, celebrating the age is, for me, for lack of a better word, I don't think that we've done ourselves enough justice to be celebrating a 37-year-old being a minister. I think this should be the norm. It's like, we should be having, Nigerians in their 20s and their 30s actually in political office, getting appointments. So because she's 37 doesn't mean that we need to jump up and down, because Nigerian youth are literally, well, maybe a sizable number of Nigerian youth are actually good enough, have what it takes, the competence, the character, the capacity, the capability to actually run, being in office, and actually join the leadership of this country. So it is important for us to actually identify many more young people like you and I, and Dr. Jamila, rather than we're celebrating. And if you ask me, yes, I don't think a 60-something-year-old or anybody above 40 should be the Minister for Youth, because give or take, would they even understand the new generation and what it's the future for Nigeria? We're going all AI and all technology. How many of this older generation will actually understand where we are and where we're going? And so for me, I don't think we should spend too much energy trying to celebrate our age, but rather the fact that she's a lady who have done well for herself, and it's good to look at her profile much more and actually celebrate that than celebrating the fact that she's 37-year-old.
Well, we're moving from Solomon Dalong to Jamila Bio Ibrahim. Sorry, Jamila Bio Ibrahim. That's her full name, which might be something to at least celebrate, somehow, some way. But I also want to talk about what really does Nigeria expect from a youth minister? Nigeria has a very, very large youth population, but it doesn't seem to have been able to tap into those resources, the human resources, and the brilliance that should emanate from the millions and millions of young people in Nigeria. And so, how can she, in somehow, some way, be able to use her ministry to get the best out of Nigeria's young population?
Okay, so for me, I think what she should be thinking about right now, and if she's approved by the Senate, is for her, for lack of a better word, to actually begin to think about drafting what I've always called on different platforms the Nigerian dream. If you talk about the Nigerian youth and we say, hey, we have problems, with Nigeria and where we're going, the question is, do we even have a national document that says this is the Nigerian dream? This is what you and I wake up to on a daily basis, and we know that we are all in that direction. Everyone sitting today watching us have their gaze and their focus on their TV, and they're listening to us. The essence is that we've put their attention in a box in front of them. And so it is important that as Nigerians, we need to draft that, because that is what everybody will wake up to every day and then say, okay, this is where we will be in the next 1 year. This is where we would be in the next 3, 4, 5 years. And so if we don't have that drafted out, if we don't have that, explicitly written out, then we will continue to be in the conundrum. Everybody will keep waking up every day and just going about their business like usual. But the Minister for the Youth and Sport should be able to say, okay, what is the Nigerian dream? And if he says 70% of the Nigerian populations are youth, the question is, how do you coordinate them? How do you bring them together? So I'd said before that Nigerian youth are the problem of this nation. And somebody says, oh, why? Why would you say that? I will say that because we are the most, number of people in this country, and the country is what it is. I'm a youth myself, yes. But again, you must understand that if we don't coordinate ourselves in such a proper way, if we don't have what we call the Nigerian dream, what guides us to...
Unfortunately, if you ask what the Nigerian dream is, for a number of young people, they'll say that the Nigerian dream is to jackpot.
Yes.
That's not the Nigerian dream that we
That's
want.
not.
There's so many angles to this conversation I would have loved for us to answer, discuss, but unfortunately we've run out of time. Especially the need for two ministers, Minister of Youth and Minister of State for Youth. I don't quite understand, but we hope that we can have you back again, maybe by the time they are confirmed, to be able to explore the conversation in depth. Thank you so much, Adebowale Jeff Johnson, for joining us this morning.
Thank you for having me.
All right.